Okay, so let me get this straight. This is what you show us on Monday Night Raw, and this is what happens after the show? They really have John Cena for a whole month, and they're only using him in dark matches and segments. Why? I'm not saying this episode was bad, I mean we got Randy Orton after all, but after the show, this was Randy Orton's reaction to John Cena's entrance, and also John Cena made Riddle and Randy Orton hug. We also seen Randy Orton and John Cena in the same ring in 2021 hugging. How was that not on television? You have John Cena and Randy Orton in the same ring in 2021, and it's not on TV? Really? At least we saw Eva. Welcome everybody to a very late episode of Greatness of Raw. So basically our house is getting a full makeover, so we had to get everything out of the house, move it to my father-in-law house. He basically lives in the same street. And I had to prepare a studio so I could record videos, and only now I can actually record. Recording on the weekends is also going to be a big issue, you know, depending on how long it will take to finish the studio in our house. So it's gonna be tough, but I'll probably get used to it, so don't be shocked if some reviews are gonna be a bit late. But yeah, this episode of Monday Night Raw kicked off with Randy Orton. Someone's watching my videos. And he welcomes us to Monday Night Raw. Quickly gets interrupted by Riddle. Riddle is all happy, smiling, shows affection to Randy Orton. And he says he misses Randy Orton over and over again. But Randy Orton doesn't feel the same way. He says, yeah, we had some matches, we sold some t-shirts, we got some buzz on social media, but I work better alone. And he basically said the same thing about Riddle. Obviously, Riddle is disappointed that Randy Orton doesn't want to be in a tag team anymore. They got interrupted by AJ Styles and Omos. This is embarrassing. So much that you can almost taste it, and it's just too sweet. This is embarrassing so much that you can taste it, and it's almost too sweet. What? Obviously AJ Styles is making fun of that relationship. He doesn't understand why would Riddle trust Randy Orton in the first place. Randy Orton shuts AJ Styles up. And we saw a little SummerSlam tease when we got that brawl, and obviously Randy Orton and Riddle could not RKO Omos because this is a very huge individual. Omos drives Riddle into the mat, Orton just looks and shakes his head. So obviously this is going to lead to a Raw Tag Team Championship match. Randy Orton will get so pissed off by AJ Styles and Omos that he will want to team with Riddle just to kick their asses. I guess another possibility is that Randy Orton is just acting that he doesn't want to be in a tag team with Riddle. He's motivating him. Whatever the case may be, Randy Orton will be friends with Riddle again once he realizes he wants to get that buzz again. Baron Corbin is on Monday Night Raw. Apparently Jinder called him and offered a chance to turn his life around and beat Drew McIntyre. I see a lot of people have a problem with this. I mean, the brand split, no. It's a brand-to-brand invitation. I guess it can happen 4 or 2 times a year or something along those lines, so it's not really that bad, especially when it's Baron Corbin, who's all over the place right now. He doesn't care. He has no money. He feeds his daughter spaghetti, I think. He doesn't care about whether he's on Raw or SmackDown. He just wants money. And he believes he can beat Drew McIntyre. So we saw the match. Drew McIntyre versus Baron Corbin. I think a year ago we also had a brand-to-brand invitation, and it was exactly Drew McIntyre versus Baron Corbin. So you know Drew McIntyre is beating his ass. But then he takes the microphone and says, Baron Corbin, you're pathetic, but I feel sorry for you. How much money do you need to get by for a few days? A bed, some food, and shower. And Baron Corbin is a very reasonable man. $100,000. Drew laughs and says, what about $200,000? Or $3,100? 3, 2, 1... Claymore, and Drew McIntyre wins the match. I mean, if you can't even donate like $100,000 to almost a homeless man, are you even a human being, you heartless monster? Riddle stops Randy Orton backstage and asks if they can still be friends, even though Orton doesn't want to team up. As usual, Riddle is talking all this nonsense, but Randy Orton no-sold it and walks away. We saw the NXT champion Karrion Kross versus Jeff Hardy again, a rematch, and this time around Karrion Kross won the match, but the same issue happened on this episode. Again, he just doesn't feel special. I mean, on NXT he has the same music, same entrance, same attire, same look. For some reason, on Monday Night Raw, he looks like a generic superstar number 69. And the audience also didn't really care about the guy. We saw Alexa Bliss versus Doudrop, in which Alexa Bliss won. We saw a contenders match, Sheamus versus Ricochet, in which Sheamus won the match. After the match, Damian Priest interferes and we saw another tease. We saw a brawl and Priest gets Sheamus out of the ring. This turned to Damian Priest versus John Morrison, another rematch. How many times are we gonna see that match? Damian Priest won. He grabs a dripstick and sprays it at John Morrison. He threatened The Miz. Turns out The Miz is not injured. The Miz is fine and nobody knows for how long. So, if I was John Morrison, I would have a huge problem with that. I don't think this match is gonna happen at SummerSlam, but that's a wasted opportunity. This should have happened a few weeks ago, so right now we could build to John Morrison versus The Miz at SummerSlam. This guy lied to John Morrison, didn't help John Morrison when John Morrison got in trouble. It should happen at SummerSlam. We saw T-Bar versus Mustafa Ali, in which T-Bar won. We saw a brawl after the match. Mansoor clears the ring and Ali is absolutely shocked. They also have matching attires right now, so this is a legit tag team and I'm actually I'm a fan. And sorry this video is gonna be short. I honestly don't have a lot of time and who really cares about Monday Night Raw at this point? I decided to upload this video because I'm sure some people still want my opinion on Randy Orton's return, but, at this point, who honestly cares about Raw? People forget about this show an hour after it airs. We saw Bobby Lashley and MVP in the ring. They called Goldberg a coward for, delivering a spear to MVP last week. And they also said they didn't threaten Goldberg's son because they're also fathers. They just warned Goldberg's son that after the match, Goldberg is not gonna be fine. They basically tried to tell Goldberg's son to talk Goldberg out of it.
Talk me out? Out of the match with Bobby? That is not happening. He's next!
The only thing worse than a spear from Goldberg is one from the Almighty. Lashley says the beating will be so bad, Goldberg's son won't want to share the same last name. Goldberg is not next at SummerSlam. He's done. I'm kinda excited about this match like I've said many times. I just wish it was Brock Lesnar in Goldberg's position. Man, it would be so much better. Let me know in the comments below how long this match is going to be. I think it's gonna be under 2 minutes. And it's gonna feature a lot of spears. We're gonna see a spear. And also a spear. And then another spear.
Spear? You're also gonna see a jackhammer!
We saw Nikki A.S.H versus Rhea Ripley. Charlotte Flair interferes, so Nikki A.S.H won by disqualification. We saw a brawl. I'm so not into this, and I'm sorry, talking about this like 4 days after the show, that's painful. Elias is getting repackaged. He also said Elias is dead when he burned his guitars, so I guess he's also getting a new name. I mean, maybe he does need some change, I understand that, but with so many releases, if this is not gonna be successful, I would be very worried. And of course, in the main event, we saw AJ Styles versus Randy Orton in a pretty entertaining match, a WrestleMania rematch. So at least we saw a big match in the main event of Monday Night Raw. Towards the end of the match, we saw Riddle and Omos fighting. AJ Styles was going for the phenomenal forearm, but we saw a catching mid-air or KO. Randy Orton wins the match. He's celebrating with Riddle, and for a second it seemed like Randy Orton is open to the idea of being in a tag team with Riddle, but then we saw an RKO. Classic Randy Orton. To be fair, it was the least aggressive RKO you could imagine because he thought it was funny. Yeah, Randy Orton has a great sense of humor. So that was your Monday Night Raw. Like I've said, I wish I had the ability to record this video a lot sooner. Sometimes maybe you will see videos without the green screen. I mean, this month is gonna be tough when it comes to making videos, but hopefully you guys understand. I'm trying my best right here. So thank you for watching The Great One. Peace, love, and hugs. It's been a pleasure.